This is what it looks like in crude here on the higher time frame on Thinkorswim. That's a huge rejection there. And if we scroll this thing out a little bit, right here, and this is what we mentioned earlier, that it's going to be important what happens below 47.10, because if the bottom falls out, we had 45, 43 right here, and then we had 42 to 43 here. And the last times it was in that zone, they rotated hard. And so right now we got into 43.76, rotated hard, and big time rejection tail being left behind after a huge sell-off. When we talk about the impulse moves, that's a significant impulse move right there. So if you take that high, you take it down to this low is pretty strong. So I was asked earlier in the week, perhaps last week, would I draw a developing key range even though the midpoint hasn't been reached yet? And so what I said was, yes, I'll do that if I believe that the current pivot is the low or high, right? It is the pivot. And so I believe right now that this is the low. We're not going to get below that 43.76. And so we could take this high, drag it down to this low, and then find where is that midpoint, and that's about where we should be shooting for as a bounce. Because we know that this is an impulse move. An impulse move bounces to the midpoint and seals it as a key range. So right now, I think we'd be calling for a bounce to the mid of this move. So right now, let's see. We have these two here. This one and this larger one. I don't want to put too many key levels on here, or key ranges. I don't like to have more than 3. I like to have 1 or 2. This one's been nice and important. I can hide it. Let me hide this one real quick. I'm going to hide all fibs. And then I'm going to draw this one. So from this high, which is 53.76, we'll do a fib extension. Let's see what the low is here. 43.76. $48.75. Let's go 6 there, go 6 there. There you go. So it's about 48.75 would be the midpoint. So from right now, we talked about the 44.90s. That may be the absorption point that starts to begin over the next day or two. Maybe it doesn't even form there. Maybe this thing just blasts off. But the idea is from current levels, we'll judge how this thing performs on a swing basis here, but we could be looking at a quick bounce back toward 48.75, and then that gives us our newest key range to play off of. So 48.75 could be the next key level up. It's also close to CVPOC, which is 49.76. So it's updated, yeah, 49.76. So we have some upside targets there. You get outside of rejection over here, you bounce back toward value. So as of right now, I'd say this target between 48.75 and 49.76, that's your target zone. And using our pivots as well. So we can come over here and let's look at the PivotBoss template, from that low, we can forecast the monthly target up. And now the targets have been stretched a little bit, but let's bring up the monthly here. And so you can see how I'm quantifying everything. I'm just kind of getting my idea of where this thing can go. From this low right now, the primary target on a monthly basis would be 48.59, and the average target would be 50.20. And we're only on day 5 of the month. So we got all month to reach this target zone. So you can see now, based on average monthly range over the last 10 months, the high probability zone would be right here. And that's also our 48.75. It's also our value level. And that's all pointing to the same zone. So we have good odds right now, based off today's trading, based off the overnight move, based off this rejection, based off of 43, 42, that major rejection zone, that we could be headed here in crude. And the way you could play that, obviously, is to wait for this thing to finish today, and then over Sunday, Monday, start to see how, where do we pull back to? Where do we start to form that low? Where do we see the absorption come off? And I think 44.90 right now is showing that with that recent pivot move. And that could provide an opportunity to play it into that target. You could also play, again, like as I mentioned before, in the money calls toward that zone. So, for example, 44. You could even do 45 slightly out of the money if price comes down, right? And then look to push this thing to this level. So that's something that I'll be looking to engage here over the next several days. We'll see how this thing plays out, but I think everything is pointing to that zone for a bounce. So I just wanted to talk about that a little bit more, because if you're newer to the room, this is where we really make the money right here. This is where everything really comes together. It's not just about trading the intraday moves, because frankly not every day is great for intraday trading. Especially lately it's been poor intraday trading, but when we find those nice ranges, we've seen some good moves happen, and we can engage it. But on a swing basis, when we have good directional conviction like I do here, good directional conviction that points to this zone, that does so many things for us in this room. Some of us are traders that are day traders, scalpers, swing traders. Some of us trade IRAs and all the other things, right? Stocks. So you can then play this move in so many ways. If this thing starts to push higher the way we know it can, we can start to engage, buy the dip opportunities day over day, right? Like, for example, when this thing started to bounce, pullbacks into the midpoint, pullbacks into the pivot range, that's buy the dips, day over day. So you're looking for a day trade into the pivot range for a bounce, for a day trade, right? So then you're starting to look for, oh, look, we have a holding pattern here. If we get a failed low in this up move, this is the next buy up, right? So then all of our techniques start to come out, where we can use everything at our disposal to help us in this move up. So there's so many ways to engage it. Not just buying here and holding here. You can. But there's other ways as well. If you're a day trader, again, like I said, you can be looking for pullbacks into the pivot range for a swing move up. You could be looking at failed range expansion down here for a scalp or a swing move up or a day trade up. So there's many things that we can do to engage this opportunity. But it all starts with a rejection signature. And right now, that's about as good a rejection as we've seen in crude in quite a while. So we could be looking at much more strength out of here. So I just wanted to bring that opportunity up, talk about it a little bit more, because this one is one that could be significant as we head into next week's trading. We could be looking at 48.75 very quickly, followed by a move perhaps even into 50.20, which would be the 100% expansion target, 100% ADR target on a monthly basis using our PivotBoss tools. So good stuff here. I really like it. And again, this is a swing opportunity that could be incredible.